Dear Twin Flame souls out there, welcome to the Twin Flame Awakening Journey podcast, and today is in episode 150. Today's episode is a little extension from the last episode, the 149, where we talked about the labels and why we shouldn't label and get stuck in that loop. And today I a little bit continue from here, just because of my wonderful, beautiful Greek sister sent me her story, and she was one of the first ones when I started the podcast and I started the group calls and all of that, and I was able to connect with her. She's very dear to me, and this is one of the things I love seeing. Many of you now have been circling back. You were in the beginning, then you got lost in between, and now you're coming back. Because in the beginning we have this journey a lot about how to get our twin flame back, or am I on this twin flame journey? Have I really met my twin flame? And so we circle a lot on this information of knowing who is my twin flame and why did they come to my life and what's happening to me and how can I get my twin flame back? Isn't that the most common thing we are feeling, is how to get my twin flame back to my life? Because they left and there is a separation, and often we don't even know that we are on a twin flame journey until we have entered into this separation. We feel their energy, we feel that longing, we feel that pain, and we start looking into the spiritual part of this, because something got awakened inside of us. Many of you often think about it when we are on this part, that how do I get it back? And believe me, I was at the exact same spot. So there is nothing wrong with this. The only issue is that when we focus on getting them back and we don't see what the separation is reflecting to us, we start looping. And that's a very dangerous part. Here is why on my website and also in everywhere you can see I often say becoming your higher self to the inner union. Because even if you get your twin back today in your life, you live together, you're happy together, all of that, if you are not in alignment with your soul, with your higher energy, you will face difficulties. And it might be only with twin flames, overall. This is a true gift that your twin flame is giving to you. It's giving you the love for yourself, but not the typical love when we talk about what we see on social media, that, oh, I love myself, I'm beautiful, I'm this, I take myself as a priority. Not that. You know the love, what I'm talking about. You know that deep inside of you. And that's why I also know that when you align within yourself, the magic begins and your twin will be back in your life. Everything starts to align. You feel like you are fully guided all the time because you are love. But I know it's difficult to hear that when we are in a separation, because our mind believes in separation. Believe me, the same thing was with me. But I'm very thankful somehow that I was able to come across with an information that very directly told me it is about your spiritual awakening. Yes, your twin is there. Yes, the love is there. Yes, everything is there. But it is about ascending into yourself. And I'm very happy and very grateful that the universe sent me all the healers, all of the things on my way, that I was able to feel the inner union. And today, of course, I want to give that to you. Because if our life, and we have very short time here, we have very short time, and if our life is going on and on and on for years of waiting for someone to come back, waiting for someone to give you that love that you felt, waiting for someone to make you happy, waiting for someone to validate these feelings, you'll stop living. But the love is all around us. It can be the butterfly that flies outside, or the waves you hear, or the sun that is outside today there, or the fact that you woke up. And then there is this knowing part. And this is now definitely something, we are very interesting humans. But I had this another day. I was meditating and channeling, and then it came into me through this knowing. We think we want to know everything. The same on Twin Flame Journey. I want to know if he is my twin flame or she is my twin flame. I want to know when they're going to come back. I want to know what to do. I want to know what comes next. And that what happens a lot on the channeling sessions. As you know, when you come in a channeling session with me, there's a lot about what's going to come next. And there is nothing wrong with that. I'm just going to say in channeling, we focus on the current energy that can be manifested. So meaning of, there can be a different situation, but I read your energy. I read what your soul is telling me. So, but things can shift and change regarding to your energy. That's why I say why it's so important to go within. If you don't go within, you go without. You just don't. It will be a loop. And that breaks my heart when we go in a loop. Sometimes I see some of you, and that's also one of my reasons of my podcast. When I have calls with you, whether it's the activation or channeling, and it breaks my heart of seeing how attached we are for the twin flame that we completely forget ourselves. And I did the same thing. So it's not a bad thing. It's not something you're doing wrong. I just want to say that these things I'm saying are not the fact that you're doing something wrong. It's very human. It's all normal. But at the same time, being on a side, it breaks my heart that you don't see how amazing you are. You don't see how beautiful you are, how much magic you have inside of you, how much you can receive in this world. I know I have a lot less men followers than female followers. We are, I think, 88% female and 12% men along the lines. But these few men who are coming on the calls and talk their stories, and sometimes I wish you would hear how they talk about their twin flame, that I could send it to you and say, I believe your twin flame feel exactly the same about you. It's so beautiful to hear these words, how the men and also women say that, but it's just beautiful to see that from the opposite. How they just admire so much, they see so much love, they feel something they never felt, and the way they express it, and they feel alive. And so it's always inside of me, it's like, if I have a call right now with someone who has very broken heart on that moment and don't see any value in herself and all of that, and then I have a man who comes and talks about how he admires the twin flame and how it's just all of that love and all of this is so beautiful. Then I wish I could take these words and heal them, the one who was there before. But I'm a believer that your twin flame sees you exactly like that, exactly as divine as you are. And now it's your time to see how divine you are. But the only way we can see that is to go within. We are very hard on ourselves, very, very hard. And that's where the separation, that's where all of it comes in. You wouldn't be here if there wouldn't be the separation. We have this feeling that the separation is kind of like a punishment. And it feels like, believe me, it was the hell of my life. But without that separation, we'll not go and discover who we are. And the separation, because if you meet your soulmate or you feel someone who has to be in your life, it happens very gradually. You meet, you have a good time together, all of that. But with twin flames, it's different. And there's always a freedom, trust, and space. Always have to be these things. But coming back to the knowing, so is it my twin flame? What's going to happen tomorrow? What's going to happen today? Well, how about how this podcast is going to end? Let's say you already know how this podcast is going to end. Will you listen to this podcast? Will that spark inside of you something? Will you have this aha moment that, now I get it. Now it opens my heart. And it's in everything in this life like this. We think we want to know, but in reality, we want to experience the magic. We want to experience that moment when there is a ha-ha, that, let's say you see the signs and you don't understand what the signs mean to you, and all of a sudden everything makes sense and you realize, this is amazing. Or you meet the person who tells you something and you feel again alive. You feel that someone understands you. Or you have an experience where someone says nice things to you. Because if you would wake up today and you would know exactly how your day goes, you get like a PDF, which writes down, you'll eat this, you see this, you say this, you do this. Will you actually get up? Will you actually have the excitement of seeing what's going to come? And that's the beauty of unknown. And on Twin Flame Journey, we have to also surrender into that unknown. I don't know what's coming, but it's exciting. Let it come. If there is a pain today and you feel that this pain is going to last forever, I promise you it will not. Of course, if you keep on looping the same things and keep yourself on this label, my twin flame, my twin flame, my twin flame, you're going to be in that loop. And again, I'm not going to say that today or tomorrow you can change and shift that. There's a process. There's a process involved. It took me almost 2 years to realize that the deeper part of that. So it's not an overnight process, and it doesn't have to be. You can hear my words today and you can be like, nope, no, that's not true. I want to do this way. But I also know that one day something clicks and you realize it. That's why I talk about it in a previous episode as well. The less labels we have, the easier it is to become oneness. And I know often one of the biggest thing, and it really breaks my heart, when I see that we think that our life is over when we don't have our twin in our life. And it really breaks my heart. Because life has so much to give you, and life has so much to offer you, and there is a love, and your twin can come back. All of these things can happen. But feeling this way really breaks my heart. And so I just want to remind you that if you are in a very difficult phase of that part of it, and feels like anything you do, whether it's a meditation, you come to the activations, you have everything you do and you feel, I cannot, that nothing is changing and shifting, then I'm just here to say, right before it gets better, it gets worse. There is a reason for this. It's kind of like a test. The universe is testing you. So now the question of who is my twin flame, how it is, I want to read you the Maria story. I will stop in between and I'll give you my feedback. But there is a lesson to be learned here. And you take it as it opens your heart, however it's going to be. Finally, I can tell my story. If you remember, we were having our last session a little before the Lionsgate last year. And the last thing I remember is that I got anticipated for a meeting with what was supposed to be with my twin flame. Yes, you got that right. My twin flame is not the man I thought for 25 years. But now how I was deceived for so long? Well, I'm not going to put it that way. It appeared that the soul I craved for and called him my twin flame, his role was to prepare me for my actual twin. And it took so long, not because I wouldn't let go of him, but because my twin wasn't ready for me yet. So here how the things got in motion since last August. I stop here for a second. Lionsgate is a portal that changes everything in your life. Again, I'm going to say that you will see a lot of shifts and changes from the Lionsgate. That's why I say anything energetic you can do on that time, meditating, breath work, Reiki, quantum healing, Kundalini activations, anything you can do. I'm not going to even list all of that because we have all our ways of connecting. will shift your frequency and will bring the truth. For me, it's the year of a new year. I don't celebrate New Year, and it's the 1st of January. I don't. I celebrate during 8th of August, because for me, it's about the energy. And I always prepare myself. How it's going to be, I don't know. I really don't know. But I make sure that my frequency is taken care of. And as we can see that last year Lionsgate changed for her. Now another thing she said here, that 25 years. And that's the danger, what I see. And another day I had a call with another beautiful soul who left for a while, didn't believe on any of this twin flame thing. And then now it's back. I'm very happy. And we were talking about it, and I said, the issue with an information is that we build another matrix. My twin flame has to be like this. The twin flame comes back on this time. This is how it's a true twin flame, this and this. And what we forget on this part is that we again building another system instead of feeling. And my idea of this podcast is not about information, it's about awakening your truth. Your truth doesn't have to match with mine. Your journey doesn't have to match with me at all. But what is important is your truth, the truth from the heart. And hearing these stories and connecting and opening yourself will help you to discover who you really are and that deep love within yourself. And one other thing I want to say before I continue, you will never lose on Twin Flame Journey. Never, ever. If someone would have told me when I was 3 years ago, completely like a ghost, that one day there is so much magic, I meet amazing people around the world who I can talk about spirituality, souls, connection, and feel it and live it, I would have never believed them. The same with Kundalini energy. Even if your twin, let's say, will not return, or that the journey goes in different ways or something like that, you still will feel younger, you feel healthier, you feel magnetized, you start attracting people in your life that everything happens. So you will never lose, despite the fact of that person. And if that person was only had to come to your life for 5 minutes, activate you and leave, that was it. That was the idea. But I know that the love will find you if you stick to who you are. And one day you remember my words. You'll be like, she was right. The love is here. And it's not about another person. If I have another person in my life, that's beautiful. And we are humans. We are supposed to share. It's not about, it's the same thing. Like, we meet a lot on Zoom. And I love that. I love that connection that I get to spend and talk. But at the same time, I also love on the retreats where I can touch you, where I can hug you, where I can talk to you in face to face. I love that, because you are all so beautiful, and I am so blessed that you are here. Anyhow, let's continue this story of my Greek sister. After August the 1st, which was the date I was supposed to meet my soulmate, I can definitely call him that now, and I did it, I got frustrated. I gave myself into grief, sorrow, crying, asking why all the signs showed otherwise. I stop here as well, and I just say, that's another thing with signs. We're looking too much into the signs, what this sign means, why the sign is there, all of that. Just look at the sign, connect to the sign, and say thank you. Thank you for guiding me. Thank you for letting the magic happen. Because the universe speaks to you mathematically. Universe speaks to you through signs. Another day I was telling to one of my beautiful soul, she came for an activation, and she posted on Patreon. We have now on Patreon also a group chat where you can share if something is on your heart with others, ask advice. and any kind of information you need to talk, because sometimes it feels very lonely. And there I post also the updates that are there just to keep you up to date. So now on Patreon we can talk to one another wherever we feel like. But about the signs, for example, you see today 555, or you see your twin's name everywhere and you're like, tomorrow the union will happen. I see my twin's name everywhere. Tomorrow it will happen. And then what happens? It doesn't come tomorrow. And then you drop down. You feel like, I had all the signs, but nothing is happening. And what happens during this moment is that you lose the trust. And the universe looks at you. What are you doing? I'm sending you the signs that it's about to happen. But just because it didn't happen the moment you thought it's going to happen, you lose the trust. And when we lose the trust, we disconnect the energy. When we don't have the trust, we cannot manifest. We cannot make things happen. And there we are in the loop. So I continue. But I found the strength to do the Lion's Gate meditation, and for the first time, a full moon dance. Again, I'm going to say, and I repeat, I'm like an old radio over here. But during the Lion's Gate, and even right now, connect to the energy. You will see, I know that everyone who is doing the work in the workshops with me, your life's going to be amazing, one way or another. And you will never regret. All you will see the gratitude what your twin came. However is your journey going to be. And remember, it's a journey. If you meet someone in between, or you have some other things, or your twin has some other situations, there can be a day where you still come together. After the 21st of August, I started feeling a lot better on my day off. And on my day off in September, I went to pilgrimage in St. Shores of Selinari in Crete, a little monastery on the way to Lera Petra that I have special connection with. When my mom was pregnant with me, she was on a tour trip with my father in Crete. And on the way back from Scythia, she started having pains and bleeding began. They had just found out about me, so my father got very scared. He stopped at the monastery and gave a promise, a tama, as we say in Greek, that if I am to be saved, he would give me his name. Ha ha ha, I would have been named Georgia. And he would bring me to him first chance. And yes, the bleeding stopped, the pain stopped, and when they saw the doctor, he said everything was absolutely fine with me. We went back when I was 3 years old, being in Crete, and not going was absolutely about the question. So it was very emotional, and I kneeled before his picture and I prayed. And I said, you have been my protector for very long, and I thank you for that from the bottom of my soul. But please, you can't leave me in this pain anymore. I know that the person who is my other half is in this world, and I know it's not the one I thought. I can feel he's somewhere out there. All my life I can feel that. Please bring him to me. Make my whole and relieve me from my torture and take away everything that is keeping him away, and please bring us together. And so I left light as a feather and relieved. A few days after that, I got call from my children's school that I had to go and finish her enlistment at school. And being a single mom with custody, her father, I couldn't. And father couldn't. So I took a 4-day leave from work to handle all of this. Things went sway. I stayed for her first day too. And the 12th of September, I took the boat back to Crete to go back to work. So sitting at the deck with a coffee in my hand, my handbag, a sleeping bag, and a bottle of water. Light traveling, but still my hands were full. And I had to visit the bathroom. And I was thinking, oh my God, where am I going to put all of my stuff? So I look around, and right next to me sat a gentleman talking on the phone. So politely, I went over to him and I asked if he could keep an eye on my stuff for a while. He nodded and said yes. And so I went seeking for the bathroom. It literally took me 30 minutes to find it. Anyway, I went back to the spot where I left my stuff. I turned to the man and I said, "Thank you very much. I am very sorry I was late." And then he popped his Bluetooth earphone and looked at me straight in the eye and said, "Wait a minute, you are not French?" And that's where I froze for 30 seconds. My chest went numb, my heart felt twitch, or something like this, and my first thought was, his eyes are the color of the sun. And all of that in 30 seconds. And then I responded, "What? French? How is so?" So he explained that he didn't actually hear me talking because he was on the phone with his mother. TV was so loud and the captain was announcing the departure, so all he saw was my mouth moving, and when I showed him my stuff on the table, he realized that I wanted a nod. And from my look, outfit, and politeness in his face, he thought I was French. So we introduced ourselves. His name is Manolis. And sat together and started talking. Now, this email has gone too long to tell you any more details, but in general, all the twin flame signs showed. The flawless in our conversation, the time that flew, and we didn't realize until we got hungry. He had found a great spot to crash where we slept, side to side. He didn't move an inch, being a gentleman. And in the morning when he reached Heraclean, I can't say that. He escorted me to the bus station, and that's when I found myself urging to take him a hug. And when I did, something exploded in me. In the days that went by until we meet again, he said it was the same for him too, and he told me that it was the first thought was, she's going to change my life, and I have to keep in touch. So 2 weeks after that we were in Panormo, the place where I worked, in bed, oh my God, I have never been with a man like that. I remember the story you once told about twin flames intimacy and lovemaking, and yes, I vouch for that. It was all there, souls dancing, not just bodies colliding. And also, I tell you now that what you keep saying, that is not the plain love story, that it's a growing and evolving, and that your true twin flame wants you to grow. Yes. I've healed every wound for the past 10 months, and he has let go of his anger and fear, and we grow. We are living together for the past 8 months, and everyone that has come to our house talks the serenity and wellness they feel. It's our energy, affecting everyone, even our older kids. I stop here for a minute to just give my overview, and so it is about the energy, and like you hear it from here as well, it will hit you out of nowhere. It's not something we're going to plan, know what's going to come, and that's why I say you think you want to know. No, you don't want to know. If you would know every book you take today in your hand and you know how it's going to end, will you read it? Will it be exciting? Or the movie you're going to watch? Or the song you're going to hear? You know, sometimes when you hear a first song somewhere and it just hits you and you feel inside of your heart, your soul, because music is the way of connecting. Or if you would know your whole life ahead of today, would you be living it? I don't think so. Because the moment you have this soul-to-soul surprise, even for me, with so many of you, I have now my soul sisters and my soul brothers, I couldn't be more thankful that I have met you. If someone would have told me that this will fulfill me in a certain ways, I would have been like, no. my only way of happiness is in a 3D of with my twin flame and all of that, and I would have left my family, I would have done all of that. And if this would have gone this way, that was a reason. But my journey took a little different, and it started to show me the things which I realized, wow, it's much deeper than this. So what I'm just trying to say is start living today from the not knowing. Get the unknown into the place that, number one, yes, your twin flame wants you, loves you, and the love is always there. It's never going to disappear. If you have felt something so magical, it's never going to disappear. Can you be with your twin flame? 100%. But don't get stuck in that loop. As you could hear from my soul sister from Greece, 25 years of grief, of waiting, longing, and knowing. And there can be an option. This is just, I'm saying, we are all one unified field. And sometimes someone else reflects your twin through them. That before you meet, and it can be through music, art, or someone you see who says to you something, and it will start reflecting. And often also children, in that sense, are very interesting, how they can tell you things that you'll be like, that's what my twin will tell me. So we have other people reflecting our true twin flame through them. And I'm not here, again, when I say this, I know how the ego pops up of saying, I can't be with my twin flame. Of course you can. Who says you cannot? But if that's your end goal, I tell you, it will disappoint you. I have now quite a lot of, I don't know if any of you remember, but long back ago, whether it was a workshop or on my podcast, I said that my dream is, number one, to have twin flames on a retreat, that we could see their energy, that you could see from what it is when there is something so energetic together. Of course, all of you will notice. Everybody notices this energy. Even people who are not spiritual, they notice the energy. Energy is everything. They might not understand and translate it, but they see it. Another thing is, that was my dream, and also have twin flames on the course, that I could see what happens when twin flames are really in a relationship. And what comes out is the energy. If the energy is not the imbalance of one or another, or the one has to grow, so there comes a time, because twin flames are about growth. I know we don't like hearing that. I know we are feeling that, no, it's the perfect love story. And it is a perfect love story. But it's a perfect love story within yourself. Because you can't control anybody else. You can't force anyone for an awakening. You can't force anyone to grow. And sometimes people come to your life, like I said, simply to give you something. And I'm going to repeat myself again. It doesn't mean you can't be in a relationship with your twin. Not at all. Just the fact that it's energetically so strong, your inner work has to be the number one thing you do. Number one thing. When I say to people that you take a shower in the morning, but have you taken care of your soul, the energy? And it doesn't require more than 15 minutes. If you had 10-15 minutes to take a shower, you'll have 10-15 minutes to take care of your soul, your inner knowing, your energy, because that's where it is. And often we are so busy with everything else. We are busy of looking, how can we change? How can we do? That we forget to go within. And it's not about that you're doing something wrong. Again, you don't do anything wrong. It's just a reminder for you here that your energy, your soul is a gift. You get to have that human experience. Take care of it. Because if you take care of your soul, you take care of your body. If you take care of your body, you take care of your soul. And if you take care of your body and soul, you take care of your mind. Meaning the mind is not in power. The mind doesn't tell you nonsense stories. And the truth starts to flow through you. We know that we create our own reality. So if you constantly are in a state of, I'm in a separation, my twin flame is running away, this is not real, what you're doing is you're creating that reality. And you hear that over and over and over again, where we talk about surrendering. You need to surrender. But surrendering doesn't come from the mind, whether you like it or you don't. Surrendering is from the embodiment. You can listen to my words and you'll be thinking, oh, I have surrendered, I am okay. And then universe will test you to see. I remember very clearly, and it was around that time, I told myself, because my twin returned back to my life, told me a lot of things, what he felt, what happened to him. And like in French, I am not going to do my French accent because I know I have French listeners. And one of the things what he said was, that was an impossible love. Love that is impossible. So those who are French can translate that. And I didn't understand in the beginning what he meant, that it's an impossible love. But now I see that many layers impossible love. In that sense, on that time, we were not supposed to be together and the universe knew that. Then impossible in that sense, the way it felt. It's so impossible that you cannot explain it. And if you have never experienced, it's going to shake you. The other part of impossible and possible, again, the paradox, is how much growth is going to be in there. Meaning of, before anything else, you tap into that impossible love, meaning of it's somewhere very, very deep, but it's beyond and beautiful. So here is why I say that you can be with your twin. I am never going to say you cannot. I've seen all kinds of stories by now. But don't forget that it is your spiritual awakening, ascension, growth, and for you to become your higher self. Don't forget that. And how can you get there? Connecting to your soul. Everything, I'm not going to say that you have to do what I do. Come to my workshops, do my things. I'm a believer that the help will come on your way. The things I'm putting out there is from the heart that I know it will help you. It will help you to become to the inner union. When we were in Costa Rica, many people experienced that inner union and stillness and peace within. They realized they have arrived home. And another thing, what I want to talk about that journey, really take today as a journey. Take this, that like the Alchemist, it's not about the destination, it is about the journey. The people you're going to meet. I know that those who are on both in Costa Rica and on Cyprus retreat, you're like a little family to each other. You text, you talk, you hold the space for each other, you uplift, you grow together. And you have found friends and soul family, so-called in strangers, but at the same time, they're not strangers. They are your family. The souls are here to support each other. We're one. And the final thing before I'm going to, it's an often thing what I get asked is like my Greek soul sister said, it's affecting everyone, even our older kids. Yes. Energy affects everyone. If you are in a peace, in alignment, in a trust, in a knowing, you see how everybody around you acts the same way. And that's why sometimes it's easier to divorce if you have to, because it comes from the place of love, connection, and oneness. If there is a life change that has to come, it comes from the love, and your children are mirrors of you. I always say the way children act outside is a mirror of the house. What goes on in the house, what is the energy in the house, they place it outside. And that's why I never blame children. If the child is screaming or the child is upset or the child doesn't know what to do, because I can feel that there is something not okay. And it's so easy to say, raise your kids. No, children are very energetic. If something is out of balance, children will reflect that. Same is with animals. Absolutely the same with animals. And like Byron said, the hypnotist, who haven't heard his podcast yet, in order to understand if your frequency has changed or shifted, look how the nature is around you. How animals, are they coming to you, or they feel fear to you, or how they come to you? Do they feel safe with you? Or how, like, let's say butterflies can fly on you, or you melt into the nature, the tree comes closer to you. Now, sounds all crazy, don't get me wrong. I was saying to another day for my beautiful soul that people can really say that I'm an absolute crazy over here. Because when I walk around with my dog, I talk to the nature. I talk whatever is going to come. And so sometimes I stop in front of the feather and I say thank you, and I feel the connection, and whatever is there. I don't judge. I don't have this. I don't judge my feelings or the thoughts or the energy. And then I go next to a tree and I speak to the tree and I see what's there. And so a little crazy over here. So I know that if any of you who is not on this spiritual part would listen to this, like, this lady needs some help. And maybe in certain ways I do. So anyhow, let me finish the message. So with this message, which if you see it, feel free to share with everyone and validate your effort and love you shared. Trust the journey. Work with your energy. Manifest your wishes. Let go, please. Let go of your fear. It is all there. All the love and light. And thank you from the bottom of my soul for being my advocate and friend in this soul. You showed me a path I was afraid to take, and you released me from the chains that holded me back, this gift. If it wasn't for your support and workshops and of love and light, I would have never seen him, and I would have never recognized him. Thank you, my love. Thank you. I haven't even actually read that by myself, so it brings a little bit tears in my eyes. And like I said in the beginning of the podcast, you might be listening and you might not believe me today what I'm saying, that the magic will happen one day, that you will understand what I'm meaning. But it is there. And I know it is there. And the fact that you ended up on this podcast, I love how some of you sometimes write to me that I don't even know where you popped up. I was driving a car and all of a sudden your voice came up from somewhere. There was this other person who said they were watching Lex's podcast, and all of a sudden my podcast came in between and started talking, and the words I said were exactly what was supposed to. That's why I say I don't promote it, I'll just share it. And I believe that the energy will find you when you are ready for it. And if you're not ready for this today, it will not. It will not. And that's okay too. It's not for everyone. And so how I'm going to end this podcast today is to just a reminder that you are divine and you are already one. Instead of telling today my twin flame or my divine feminine or my divine masculine, however we want to label it, just say, I am you. I am me. I feel you. I feel me. We are one. And try to repeat that and see what starts to happen inside of you. Do you feel closer connection? Something shifts inside of you? Just see it. Anyways, it was again lovely to be here and connecting with all of you. I'll just go through a few things, my beautiful souls. So in September now, we are back on the workshops for 2 times a week and 2 sessions on Sundays. So you have that the ones who are in the United States can join during their noon hour or in the early morning, totally up to them. Europe has noon and evening, and then we also have the Australians and New Zealanders and Asia that can join the same way. And on the month of September, we focus on the heart opening. We focus how to attract the love, but not in the idea that you do this to attract. It's about activating the love inside of you, because when you are love, you attract love. It's not about, I always say, don't do these workshops with an idea that I get my twin back, because then you're giving the energy outside. You're doing this because you are awakening it inside of you, that it will reflect in your 3D. Our inner world reflects in a 3D world. And the next thing is, so we meet on the 14th of September and 28th of September. So 2 of these workshops, they will be recorded. You can do them anytime on Patreon. Lasts about 1.5 hours. And we'll do a Jupiter Kriya. Those who already know, it's the prosperity, wealth, health. It's one of the most powerful ways of uplifting your energy. It's a very powerful Kriya, difficult but powerful. And we practice this as well. Remember, abundance is not about health or in a sense of wealth, like money and finances. Abundance is everything. Abundance is a beautiful relationships, love, beautiful moments in your life, connecting with soul-like people. If you attract money, that's wonderful too. All of these things is an abundance. Abundance is also food. All of this meaning that, how to say, apple tree gives us apples. It's from the abundance. And so this is for the Patreon. So whoever wishes to join, you feel free to join. The links are in the description. Then about the retreats. Yes, our Cyprus retreat is sold out. That happens now in November. But for the next year, we are planning already the Bali retreat, hopefully in Italy, and then one in Cyprus again. So it will be more retreats. We'll see how it's going to manifest. But you signing up on the website for the waiting list helps you to be the first one who receives the offer, receives the guidance, and will know what's going to happen. Because with the last time when I sent out the email for Cyprus retreat, it was literally sold out within 10 minutes. That all I could do was just to reply yes, 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 yes. And then I said, no, we don't have any more space. And then if you wish to have energy activation, if you wish to have a channeling to know what's going on in the energy of yours, your twin, something else, more than welcome to connect with me, twinflameawakeningjourney.com. Or if you want to know if you are on this journey, the same thing, connect, and we get to know. Anyways, this is all for it. Everything is on twinflameawakeningjourney.com. Your energy was much appreciated over here. Let's begin with this September with love, light, and gratitude. And thank you for being here. Lots of love and lots of light.
Darkest days and there's smoke in the sky, getting higher, higher. I feel the weight of 1,000,000 miles in the fire, the fire. And I've been on my own, lost my way back home, and been blinded from the light. I thought I'd be alright. My time has come, laying all of it down. I surrender. Find me in the open, all the good and broken, nothing left unspoken. No, I am here, standing here. Find me in the open. Find me in the open. How will I know I'll be safe When all is bare and my shield isn't there, can I trust you? Can I trust you? Find me in the open. All the good and broken, nothing left unspoken. I am here, I'm standing here. See me in my wholeness. Healing is the closest. 'Cause this is where my hope is. Oh, I am here. Yeah, I'm standing here. Find me in the open. Yeah. Find me in the open. Find me in the open. Find me in the open. I've been on my own, lost my way back home, and been hiding from the light. I thought I'd be alright, but time is coming all